What is up, all you cool cat and kittens out there? Got a special show tonight. Gonna be a fun show. Guest of mine. Gonna go ahead and bring that guest in. This artist formerly known as Christian Hannah Horror, Mr. Planet CHH.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Did you see my...
I love it so much. It doesn't work for me, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you for making that.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for buying it.
Oh. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Long week, but can't complain. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being here.
Hell yeah, brother.
As you already know, but I got this awesome new wax melt warmer today at Walmart. Burning some the night he came home.
Ooh.
Pumpkin spice.
Hell yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm already in the Halloween spirit, I guess.
I am. It starts early for me, usually around late July. It's getting earlier and earlier as I get older. So maybe by the time I'm 40, I'll be celebrating in February. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know.
It's definitely like which I don't know how the weather is like as far as where you're at, but like here once the weather starts getting chilly, it's like prime time.
I'm waiting for that. Louisiana, I get, the old expression 4 seasons in a day over here. So
yeah, it's kind of the same way here. Like it'll be snowing one minute and it's like 80 degrees the next.
Yeah. What can you do?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess before we get started, have you watched anything new here lately? What you want to talk about?
I watched Crimes of the Future.
Did you like that? I know he's pretty excited.
I don't know. I'll certainly have to rewatch it a couple times. I really loved Men. I watched that maybe a week or so before, and I just thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I feel like that's the Cronenberg movie of today's era. And I would never want to say Cronenberg's lost his touch anymore, but I was really struggling to get through Crimes of the Future. To me, Men is like today's, revolution of what horror can be. I loved Men. I've said that like 1,000 times now on the internet, but I'll say it again. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm trying to think if I've seen anything else. I can't, off the top of my head, think. I'm sure I have, but a lot of it's old stuff. But new stuff, Men, it's probably my favorite movie of the year.
I'm gonna try to get to that this weekend. I got a long weekend with Labor Day coming
Labor
up.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off Monday too. I wasn't working anyway, but I still get paid for it. So God bless America.
Yeah. I watch. I don't know. Fall. The movie with the girls on that tower.
I haven't seen that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is really good. I mean, I'm definitely afraid of heights anyway, so
yeah,
it's pure anxiety, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Also getting through that Pennywise documentary.
Oh my God, it's like Chris Lake Memories level of good.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through it, and it's really good. I'm surprised they got like some of the people they got to do interviews.
Isn't it crazy when I was talking to, I think it was, I can't remember who I was talking to this about. It's slipping my mind now, but I was telling somebody, it's like when you really look at Tommy Lee Wallace's career, he's kind of batting like he's got a great batting average as a director. When you think about it, Halloween 3, Fright Night 2, It. I haven't seen his Vampires de los Muertos, I think it's called, the John Carpenter sequel he did. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's fine. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's at least fine. So he's kind of like, he kind of, all he does is like win when you think about it.
That is true. He's one of them that, I mean, he hasn't done much really, but yeah, like you said, they're all bangers.
Yeah, it's like Clive Barker. He directed 3 movies.
I know. That's hard to I think it might have been you actually listening to the show you was doing and mentioned that. And I looked it up. I'm like, sure enough, yeah.
I was surprised.
And I really like all of them, which Hellraiser, Lord of Illusions, and
Nightbreed.
Nightbreed. Yeah, I can't forget that one. But I really like Lord of
I know.
Illusions.
Oh my god, it's good. I remember when that came out from Scream Factory years ago. I remember buying it just because it was Clive Barker's name on it. I hadn't heard of it. This was 2017 at the latest. And I bought it, and this was before I realized there was like the 3-month slipcover thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea about it. So I bought it probably like a year after it came out. And I remember getting the slip for it, and I didn't think anything of it, mind you. I never realized it's weird. I didn't realize slip covers existed until people started talking about them, even though I had hundreds of them. Right? Remember, there was a time where nobody talked about slip covers. You didn't even think about it.
Yeah, there was a time like they just came with everything.
They came with everything, and
Yeah.
you threw them. Some people threw them away.
Yeah.
Like, get the shit off my movies. Like, this is one more thing to deal with. But I remember getting Lord of Illusions, and maybe 6 or 7 months later, they said this movie's going out of print. Well, some people started buying it. And then like a year later, people paying exorbitant amounts of money for this, Clive Barker classic. It's a classic now because it's going out of print. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I like it. It's good. But that's the way of the physical media world now.
It really is, which is weird. I don't know. It's like, I think Corey's even mentioned it, but it's like it's becoming less about the actual movie and more about the slipcovers and everything else.
It's great, isn't it? I love it.
No, I don't.
Like, what about you saw that Saw box set coming out today? It's $400. Well, it's like maybe $300 in American money. I forgot. I think it was like $3.99 Australian. I don't know what kind of currency they have over there, but
Yeah,
it is fucking gorgeous. But you'd have to be a son of a bitch to buy it.
you would, but with the packaging, and if you think about it, because
that thing better be made out of fucking brass, or it
Yeah.
better be made out of something nice.
But isn't every single one of them a 4K?
Actually, my buddy Kyle messaged me today, and he goes, "Dude, I was looking into it. It looks like the first 3 or 4Ks, and the rest of them are Blu-rays."
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with the Walmart $14.
That's what I have.
Set I got.
The little chunky one. It's like
yeah,
I've got that one.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
And then supposedly they're making another one next year, so that box set's not even complete.
Yeah, I know that's weird, and I wasn't too big on Jigsaw anyway. Or, yeah, that was what the last one, right? Is that what the last one was called?
The last one was called Spiral.
Spiral, that's it. Jigsaw was the last actual one it was the prequel one, right?
Yes, yeah. That was the thing. I remember loving Jigsaw in the theaters because I'm a Saw fanatic. Chapter verse. I love that. And I remember going into the theaters watching Jigsaw, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome, man! This is awesome." And then I'd watch it again, and I'd be like, "It's still fun, but man, we're really diluting the timelines here." Like, how much shit and how many people did John Kramer like get involved with this shit, and we never heard about this guy once throughout the rest of these movies. So it was nowhere to restart the series. And then Spiral I thought was fine. I liked it enough, but I think this next one's not even going based off of that per se. I think it's a John Kramer's supposed to be in it again now, from what I read. But you know how stuff is on the internet.
Yeah, that's a weird franchise. Like, it's not my favorite. I don't even like it that much. I like the first 3 really well, but to guys like us, our age anyway, that is our like Friday 13th.
It is.
It's
chapter verse, and they were coming out every October, which was awesome. So like all my high school years and a little bit of college years, like, well, I say college years when I would have been in college years, like they were coming out. So now that's not true because final chapter came out in 2010. I graduated in 2010, so I was still in high school that year, but I had graduated. But still, I mean, it was so awesome. And then the Paranormal Activities took over,
Mhm.
and they started mud stomping the Jigsaw films in the theater, and so that was fun times, man. I know. There's a lot of people that like, hey, stop doing sequels, stop doing this, doing that. But I revel in knowing like if there's something I like, and then the next year there's gonna be another one. But no harm, no foul. You know, fuck it. It sucks. It sucks. And if it's, I liked it when series could have a shitty entry. Like I think Paranormal Activity 4 was like really panned. It's like this like teenage girl and this guy, and they're kind of like boyfriend and girlfriend. They're kids and stuff like that. One got panned really bad, and then they were just like, this one didn't do too good. But fuck it, let's try again next year and do something different. And then that one where the Latino kids in California, I loved that one.
Marked
It's like
ones?
marked ones.
Yeah.
So it's fun that like, you know, when that was a time where it's like if something sucked, instead of just stopping it, they're like, let's try something else next year. I loved that. I wish that era would come back a
I do
little bit.
too.
You know?
Because it gave you something to look forward to every year. Because you knew, like, new Saw, new Paranormal Activity every September, October.
Oh man, it was great.
So,
Yeah.
and honestly, other than like franchises that are already a thing, I don't think I see that happening again. It's going to be hard because it seems like now studios are don't want to release like independent something and release something and just let's see what happens.
Mm.
You know, just straight to streaming or whatever.
Yeah. And then when they do make a film that they do make some of these films that do pretty good in the box office, like Black Phone. I'm not going to spoil it for those that haven't seen it, but you can't do a sequel to that because of the ending.
Nope.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. Get over the. It's like, man, that's one thing I loved about the old Bob Shea model back in the day. Like, always have an ending where the evil doesn't lose, so you could sequel the shit. You know, it's like that's. I never want a definitive ending where the bad guy loses in horror. Are you kidding me? Are you joking me?
Always need that open ending, you know. So you'd be like, oh, so we could get another one.
What kind of? It's like I'd like to take a poll. I'd like to take a poll, like for the people in the chat. What horror movie do you really want to have a happy ending? Ever? You know what I mean? Like, like really, ever? Maybe there's one or two occasions, but most of the time, I want everybody to die in a horrible way. You know, I loved it every time that what was that detective in the Saw movies? Not Kramer, but the guy who had hair like mine, kind of. Hoffman.
Yes, Hoffman.
Dude, Hoffman was a bad motherfucker. He took shit into his own hands, and he always got away. And even when that broad Jill thought she had him, he still escaped when he shoved his head into that door. Remember that? And then that's a son of a bitch right there, dude. Like, I loved Hoffman. He's probably, to me, Hoffman's as cool as Kramer. Hoffman was a bad son of a bitch.
He was. And he was around for a lot more of them than Kramer too.
He was, and he got his way, you know. So I liked Hoffman.
But you know, it seems like today what they're doing is making, like you said, making a movie, and then the killer or whatever dies, and then so they just decide to make a prequel,
or go to TV.
Mm-hmm. And so
the TV thing probably works, but I just don't have the time. I'm such a fucking old man that I want my movies to be 90 minutes at this point. 90 minutes. Let's get in, let's get out. You know, then let's go to dinner. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. But
but before we actually get started here, I want to shout out the chat here. We got Off the Grill Podcast, Mr. Steak Sauce, Big Crack Rock, Ewan Thomas, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm from Kentucky and I'm done. Slasher Home Video, Ben Grimm, Brian Trash, hey, isn't that Devon Graham? Dan Shine, shout out. Corey Ross. Jay the Stingray, what's going on, brother?
Hell yeah, brother.
Jamie, hell yeah, brother. Michelle, I think I'm saying that right. And we got your co-host, Mr. Nick, Lost River Drive-Ins, in here. He says he wants Michael and Lori to end up getting married and end. Speak for yourself, Christian.
Oh God, he's always got the worst takes possible.
But yeah, thanks for everybody in the chat. I'm sure most of you from Mr. CHH here. Nonetheless. Well, this is a question that I always usually start with everybody, but I know your story's a little different as far as you're a late bloomer to the horror genre. So, because if I'm correct, it was like what, 2010, 2011-ish when you
9 or 10. I think it was 2009. You know, do you want me to tell the tale?
Well,
or...
I guess. Well, I guess what my question would be is like, because a lot of us start when we're younger, and so you starting so much later. Like, what made you decide to be where you're at today as far as your love for the genre?
It really was this simple. I obviously had watched a lot of horror films in high school. We used to go to the theater and watch me and my friends would go see The Strangers and the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. And I know I saw Friday the 13th and that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like I was like, hell yeah, So my brother took me to Spirit one day just to go. And it was as innocent as that. And I just like, dude, I haven't seen half of these movies. I realized it. Like I was looking at the Freddy Krueger masks and like all that shit, right? And I just realized I haven't seen these movies. Like I don't think I've really seen them all. I've seen clips, I've seen this, I've seen that. And so that night, I asked my mom. I got home. She used to work right next to a Blockbuster, which God, I miss those days. Now that building is a bank in town, and it's funny when they were going out of business. I wanted to buy some of the shelves, and they said I could buy them, but I needed to wait till X to come pick them up. But I was leaving town for a couple weeks to either go. My band had got one of my old band, Nottoway. We got signed on this little small record label type deal, and we were going to record in Atlanta, and I was going to be out of town. So I was like, shit, I'm not going to be in here to buy them. And they needed them out. They needed them out of the building during that time. So I couldn't get them. But anyway, I do reminisce about that all the time because I totally would have turned my room into a mini Blockbuster. But my mom said, yeah, I said, can you pick me up at Nightmare on Elm Street? Because that's what I wanted to start with. And she was like, sure, no problem. And she came home the next day. I came home from school. She came home from work and she said, part 1 was rented. I got you the second one. Hope that's fine. I was like, I don't care. Fuck it. What difference does it make to me, And that's history was made that night. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It's my favorite horror franchise. I started with Nightmare. That got the ball rolling. And then I don't think from that point on I've ever gone a week without seeing something horror related on TV, which probably isn't a big deal to most of the people in the chat. They're probably the same way, but it certainly changed my life. That's where it started.
Well, that's always interesting as far as because a lot of us started as far as we can, long as we can remember. It's always interesting to see somebody get in later, and with that, you get in later. Like obviously, because me and you are pretty much the same age, but what's because to me, video store memories is that it's finding new horror movies, at a young age. Like what's the video store memories for you when you're that young and not really, what are you renting at that time?
I remember when Diddy Kong Racing came out on 64, it was pandemonium at Blockbuster. We were rushing to my mom, she had to call this was before I had no idea there was such thing as like a release date for movies and games back in the day, or even today. Like it took me like 2 years after getting into physical media to realize that Tuesday was movie day, new release. I just didn't pay attention. But I remember when Diddy Kong's video games for sure. This is slightly off topic, but I'm very proud of this. Did you ever play a game called Clay Fighter for Nintendo 64?
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, there's one of the it's legitimately one of the rarest games on the system. It goes for hundreds of dollars, hundreds. It's called Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. It's like a play on Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat kind of thing. It was
Mhm.
really popular, and they had characters like Bad Mr. Frosty and Laffy Taffy. It's really really fun, addictive fighting game. Well, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut was the blockbuster exclusive version of that 64 game. And I rented it the week of Katrina. So I rented the game, took it with me. Katrina happened. Obviously, St. Bernard Parish was flooded. Everything was ruined. So I have that game, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. Really off topic, but I don't talk about it that much. But it's one of the most expensive video games I own. It's hundreds of dollars. I've never sold it. I've thought about it, but I can't bring myself to do it. But back in the day, we used to rent 64 games a lot, and I never rented horror movies as a kid. My parents would, but they wouldn't really let me watch much of it. They would let me watch certain PG-13 stuff. Like I remember Deep Blue Sea. We rented that. That was a real big deal. We did rent Jeepers Creepers. I remember that. But I'm trying to think like late 90s. It's hard to say, man. Like I remember my mom used to rent like all the Rockies for me as a kid, and Tommy Boy, mostly comedies. It was weird. My parents were fine with rated R comedy stuff, but not horror. No. Horror, which she would never it would be, but rated R comedy they wouldn't really mind. So I don't know. It wasn't so much as the rating as it was the genre, I guess. But they were never like hardcore, like religious or anti-horror with me. They just never really let us rent much horror stuff. My grandma was actually the one that would show me like Child's Play and It as a kid. We used to watch that religiously. But yeah, for me as a kid, it was mostly Nintendo. Is what we would rent games all the time. We never really bought a lot of games. We eventually would, but we rented 64 games all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget too. Like, not only you go to the video store, not only is there movies, but video games, because that was a big part of my childhood too. Along with them was video games, but I was more of a PlayStation kid than a Nintendo kid. So all them games like GTA. I remember the first GTA and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, when it's like you're looking down at the world, and it's yeah.
But
we ended up getting a PlayStation. My favorite memory of all time was like 1998. I came home from school on my birthday, and my dad had gone to the pawn shop and got me a Sega Saturn. I didn't know what the hell that was. Like, and when I got it, I would go to school and tell my friends about it. They had no idea what a Sega. You either had a PlayStation or a 64.
mm-hmm.
And my dad got me for some reason. My dad, he wasn't a gamer, but he loved Sega. He always wanted to get me Sega systems. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was a price thing. I don't know, but like he got me as a kid. We had the Genesis, which I think to me the Genesis is the GOAT. I love the Sega Genesis. That's my favorite system. But I remember he got me a Saturn. And then he got me a bunch of games for it. And of course, I wish I still had all that stuff because it was, God damn it. I mean, the games that I had, RetroCac has a lot of them. And if you get those games in those big ass jewel cases like they come in, geez, First off, it's hard to find one that's not cracked to hell. They're prone to getting cracked. But I had some of the coolest games ever, like Mr. Bones, which was a really cool like horror game, and WWF In Your House. All that stuff. I had it for Sega Saturn. That was good stuff.
I don't remember. I remember the Sega growing up because we had a friend that had one, and we would go over there and play like NBA Jam and stuff like that. And then there was another system. Oh man, it's gonna escape me. But it's obviously not around. It didn't last long. But I remember like Road Rash. Remember the Road Rash game?
Road Rash 64 is one of the best games of all time. But I had it for Sega Genesis too.
It might have been the Sega then, but we would play that. But yeah, it's mainly like 64 and PlayStation for me. Like I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but you used to you remember the old gaming magazines?
Yeah, well, there was Game Informer, Nintendo
Yeah.
Power. Yeah.
Well, there was one and it had a demo disc in it, and it was for PlayStation. But it had was SS Tricky, the snowboarding game. It had like a demo. You could be like HBK and maybe like Stone Cold. It was like the first Raw's War game.
Warzone.
Warzone, yep. But it
Yeah.
was just demo disc, and it had a lot. Like demo discs used to be awesome back then. Like,
Yeah, I remember those. And do you remember the demo VHS tapes that used to, I remember, well, I say demo VHS tapes. It was like promo is the right word to use. I remember having a Banjo-Kazooie promo VHS tape and a Donkey Kong 64 promo VHS tape. Dude, that shit got me hyped. I would watch those tapes over and over again. I don't remember how we got them. I think they were like mailers or something. But god damn, dude, that's bringing back some memories now.
yeah. I mean, video games are a big part of my childhood, obviously, as well as yours too. And it's just different now, I guess, but that's with everything. Maybe it's just getting old. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I am excited. Nick has that Evil Dead game, and I really wanted to play with him, but I told him I don't want to invest in my Xbox One because it's literally on its last leg. It doesn't, the disk drive, if you put a disc in, it sounds like it's getting jumped in an alley. Like it sounds like it's getting destroyed. And matter of fact, I had a movie that I put in. Thank God it wasn't like a expensive movie or a rare movie I have, because it destroyed just scratched it to hell. So I was telling him, I was like, I don't want to put money into my Xbox. Screw that. I want to get a PlayStation. I'm kind of burnt on Xbox. Not that they did me wrong. My 360 and my One have lasted many years, but I'm just like, I just want to get a PS4. It seems like most of my friends have PlayStation. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is coming out on PlayStation. That Killer Clowns game looks kind of cool. And I want to play Texas Chainsaw Massacre with all you guys. So like I'm going to get a PlayStation 4, and I went out and I already got this. I got the PlayStation headset with the mic, so that way when we play, I can talk shit.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think it'll be good. I don't know if you ever got a chance to really play Friday 13th that much, but
I did a lot.
Was that not a blast? Like when it first came out?
Absolutely amazing. I still enjoy playing it. Once a month, if me and Sydney are watching TV and I'm just like, I don't feel like watching this, I'll say, hey, hand me the Switch, and I'll play it, because she got it on Switch for me. Because she loves Switch. That's all she plays. But, like, I play Friday on... I had it for Xbox One. Played it a lot. And then when she got a Switch, I started playing it on there instead. And I'll still play at least once a month. And I always play as either Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason, or Part 3. Because Part 3 will run, and I like that. It's kind of like I've got a poo run he does, but it's still a run,
Yeah. And it's a shame that the rights, whatever happened with that they couldn't continue with that.
I know it really is a shame that we never got a Jason X pre-Uber or Uber. I mean, God, we got Jason Goes to Hell, but we didn't get a Jason X. It's like, there's nothing sacred in this life anymore. Everybody would have played as Uber Jason. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, Uber Jason.
Are you kidding me? Uber Jason?
That's awesome.
Oh, that'd have been amazing.
Really
it's like you had Kane Hodder doing the costumes. Why would you not do all the Jasons that he played as?
Yeah,
to begin with.
He was doing all the motion capture for all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, maybe it's sacrilege. Like if Jason X and if Jason X came out before like part 4, 5, 7, like, okay, fair enough. But it's like, son of a bitch. I think there's been like some fake mod things where people have made that outfit, but it's not like official. It's like they hacked the game or something. I've seen pictures of it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's always on top of that kind of stuff. It seems like these days. But You've been talking a lot about Blockbuster, man. Was there no mom and pops around you at this time?
There was, but once Blockbuster came right into our town, we never went anymore, which is probably the story that a lot of people had growing up.
Yeah.
I remember it was in Violet, Louisiana, and we lived in Miro Chalmette. You would leave our subdivision, and across the street from the subdivision was a shopping kind of section. Big Kmart, Sears, which Kmart owned Sears, so that makes sense. Then on the strip to the left, we had CC's Pizza, which God knows we devoured a lot of that. Leslie's Pool Supplies. Any Leslie's Pool Supplies fans out there?
I don't
And
know.
then do you remember a grocery called Save a Center?
I don't. I don't think we had
Okay,
them here.
that might have been a New Orleans thing. And then it was a Save a Center grocery. So if you took a left in front of the shopping center, you'd head to Violet. Now on the way to Violet was this little mom and pop video store. And I remember my dad taking me in there one day. I remember my first memory of going in it. Can't tell you the name of it, but we went in and it was very cool. It felt really cool. And the first rack was like, I forgot what it was. It was a mix of just like popular titles. And my dad rented me the Flintstones. And then I remember my first memory of ever looking at something horror related was Hellraiser VHS. I vividly remember looking at that because he was looking right back at you. It's that's such an amazing cover. But that's my first horror memory, I think, is seeing Pinhead before anything else. So, yeah, that was cool. But then and I remember we would rent some wrestling VHS tapes. Like I can remember, I can't tell you the pay-per-view, but it was we rented a WWF pay-per-view where Undertaker and Kane fought, and they had this thing around the ring, not necessarily touching the ring, but right around it, and it was shooting flames up.
The first Inferno match?
Probably what it was, because I remember Dude Love was and Stone Cold were like maybe in a tag team. I think, God, it's been so long since I've watched it, but I remember eventually Kane, his arm catches on fire and he runs out. But I remember we rented that tape because Blockbuster, I don't know if they were carrying WWF tapes at the time yet, but we rented that tape from that mom and pop place. Me and my brother watched it, the whole thing, then we rewind it and watch it again. And once Blockbuster came, though, that place just took a back seat and it was gone.
That pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure, was Unforgiven 98.
It had to have been 98.
The first one.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, I mean, hearing people talk about Blockbuster is a little different for me because I think, as you know, I'm in a real small town. And I know you're a wrestling fan, so you might find this interesting. But right across the street from me was a mom and pop video store. That's where I'd go for everything. Well, at one time, an ex-pro wrestler owned this video store. This is the flamboyant Eric Emery, which he's from my area. But I remember going in there because there was no restrictions on what you could get. Going in there and then like my mom and dad telling me like, yeah, he used to be a wrestler, because he wrestled like Mankind back in the day.
Oh wow.
So I went in there one day and we would go in there. I'd go in there all the time, talk about wrestling. He'd bring in his own wrestling belts. He I can't think of the territory, but it was in Dallas, the one with the Von Erichs. But he was booking at the Sportatorium there at the tail end. So.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Coolest thing I remember. But so you get into horror later in the game, and then when does YouTube come into play? Because I know you just had your 10-year anniversary at the end of July, correct?
Yeah, which I completely was passed right by.
What was you like browsing YouTube at that? Because I think I said in like Jay's and them's because y'all are all kind of like OGs in this. like I was never that hip to the ideal of people being on YouTube talking about movies until later. So was that something that you just like discovered or was it just like, hey, this is something I want to do. I'm gonna do this.
No, it was very specific. So what happened was I started using YouTube on a regular basis around like 2011. And what was great back then was like stuff really just didn't get pulled. Movies would be on YouTube. And I remember before I owned the Crystal Lake to Manhattan set, they had on YouTube all those mini documentaries for all the movies on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I used to just watch them all the fucking time. I was just so enamored with learning about, because I had recently become a big fan of those movies. And so I just became enamored with watching those all the fucking time. And then one day in early 2012, after watching one of them like for the 30th time, Pizal's DVD video collection popped up. And I was like, okay. And so I watched that video and I was enamored. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it was all foreign to me. Like, there's guys that just do this kind of stuff on YouTube. Like, I could do that. And that sounds fun. So that was the first horror YouTuber video I ever saw. And then I started watching. I don't know what other horror YouTubers I got into, to be honest with you. Pizal might have been like really the only one, to be honest with you.
Well, I gotta think maybe around that time there wasn't probably that many, right?
I mean, not really. Cool Duder, Pizal. There were some other guys, like some of Pizal's old friends that he's told me that he said their names that I can't remember. I know Jay was around, but I never saw Jay's channel. I didn't know about Jay till I saw him on Sausage Factory. You know, apparently Raiho Magnifico, who's been around with Piz since the beginning, has, and I did look up his channel. He was doing like reviews years and years ago. So he was doing it. A lot of those guys, from what I understand, kind of stopped. So that that may be why I don't know half of them, because by the time I started doing it, maybe a lot of those guys stopped. But I feel like I started YouTube at the tail end of the Attitude Era. Like, to me, 2009 to 2012 is like the Attitude Era of horror YouTube. And then like 2013 to about 17 is the Ruthless Aggression Era. And then I don't know what era we're in now. I think now we're in the streaming era.
Yeah.
You know, because all we do now is stream, which I love, you know, because it's once you're done, no editing, that kind of thing. So yeah. I guess streaming era is what we're in now.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot more convenient. You ain't got to edit nothing. You know, what's there is there. So, you know, starting your YouTube channel, like when you started your YouTube channel, was you just like, I'm just going to talk about the movies I love and do that, or?
Kinda. It was very aimless. I think I did. My first video, I played the Puppet Master theme on piano, where I handed my brother my iPhone 3GS, and I said, hey, just film me playing this on my piano. He's like, all right. I did like Laserdisc collections. I did like Stallone videos, a lot of random shit. And then it started morphing into horror after about 6 months, like full-time horror. And then it would be a slow decade of burning myself out on horror. Basically.
Yeah. I'm right there with you on that. I mean, sometimes it's just hard, you know.
I tell you what really, I don't want to jump ahead because it sounds like you got other questions and stuff, but I just, while I'm thinking about this, it's not that what I really loved about rebranding. First of all, I like Planet CHH. I think it works. People seem to like it. But what I love about rebranding, it's not that I just need to talk about other stuff. Like, I want to, and I do. When I feel like it, I'll talk about First Blood, or I'll talk about Bloodsport. But it's not that I just need to do it and not talk about horror, but now it's the fact that the constriction of it is away because I've made it known I may want to talk about this or that, and that's the bottom line now. Like now that I've broken that door down, I don't feel the pressure anymore, or I don't feel tied down to it, and that weight feels great. So even though I'm still mostly doing a lot of horror, the fact that I know I don't have to is such a big sigh of relief. Like tomorrow night, I'm gonna do a live stream. It's called Best of the '80s All Genre, and I want to talk to the people about whatever fucking movie you want to talk about, whether it be Lethal Weapon, uh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Back to the Future. So, and that's fun. So, but I certainly love talking about horror. But anyway, back to your question. Basically, after about 6 months, it turned into a horror channel. And I called myself Christian Hannah Horror because I decided if I'm going to be a horror channel, I guess I should make that known. And I just typed in that because I didn't know what the fuck else to call my channel.
Sure.
So now people still call me that. Some people actually just call me Christian Hannah Horror. Like it's like almost like my name, which is cool. And some of my friends, a lot of my friends just call me CHH too, which is cooler. I really like that. But it's who I am now, I guess.
Yeah.
I could be called worse things.
That is true. Well, it's so, because I didn't really discover you. Honestly, like I said, I was, post pre-pandemic, whatever. This shit was all foreign to me. I was mainly on YouTube watching gaming clips and music videos.
Right.
But it was the interview you ended up doing with S'mores Indoors, and that's how I first became aware of you.
Oh, nice.
And then go get on YouTube, go to your channel, blah, whatever, watch your stuff. But like, how long was it when you first started to like you realizing, hey, I'm growing followers, subscribers pretty quick. Like this is something that I can do, and I'm doing a good job at it.
All right, if I'm being real, like I could give like the plushy answer and be like, well, man, I never really paid attention, and this, and this, and I just have fun, which I do love YouTube. It's fun. I love making videos. It's like a release to talk about stupid shit that my wife does not want to hear or does not want to talk about, but the truth is my channel would grow really, really slow and minute because I didn't put in hashtags, I didn't put in keywords to push my videos. My titles were ridiculous. They made like I would misspell stuff all the time. I thumbnails were like I would not be bothered by making thumbnails. Like there was a time where like none of that shit mattered to me. Just I would hit record on my phone sometimes and then do this and set up my shot. I wouldn't even set up my shot before hitting record. Like those were the, but I remember once I moved into my house, I bought an actual webcam and I was like, oh, this is picture quality. Okay. I never knew what this was. And I think I had maybe like 1,600 subs, and it was slow burn subs, 20 a month. Maybe some months I would do good. I remember I hit the jackpot on my Chucky video, and I got 1 million views on that in 2015, and that probably gave me like a couple hundred bump pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe around 2018, where I said, let me try to just take a little bit more time, not structure stuff, because I really don't like highly edited stuff. It's not my style. I don't like it when you're listening to some guy and it seems like there's a cut like some people can't get a sentence together, but they got to edit their sentences. It's so bad. And I never wanted to be like that. Some people are not great talkers. I'm not one either, but if I fumble, you're just going to hear my fumble in my speech. But I remember around 2018, I was like, let me try to make a style of thumbnail do some fun videos. It seems like rankings are kind of cool. People like those because it kind of wants you kind of want to stick around to see what the list is going to be, as opposed to like just movie reviews where the thumbnails usually give away if the person liked the movie or not. So I started doing stuff like that, and slowly but surely things started going good. I started doing the Sausage Factory, which I'm sure that was helpful. I remember I reached out to Piz, and I don't know if I ever told this story live before. It's not like a secret. I remember I wanted to do like a Halloween thing where I had my friends send me videos of movies they love to watch during Halloween time. And I reached out to Piz about it. And Piz basically said, dude, I am really busy. I don't know. I barely have enough time to film my own videos right now with everything going on. But I tell you what, just come on my show I do on Thursdays. I was like, what show is that? And he said, The Sausage Factory. I'm like, what? Like, that's the name of the show? I hadn't heard of it. I watched Piz, but I never paid attention to whatever his other channels were. And so I did that show with him. And I mean, Piz had a big following then. I mean, Piz was probably sitting around like 20,000 subs in. So I think, and I talked to Piz on a number of occasions before that, but I remember I got on that, and that certainly helped. And honestly, you know what it is? Like around when I got like a couple thousand subs, it's like I remember I was just like, I'm just gonna keep making fucking videos, and I'm not gonna stop and just make it a part of my routine. And I never want to be that guy that just complains about not growing his channel, and it's clear that you're not putting the effort in. So I put some effort in, and I don't feel like I'm an algorithm guy, to be honest with you. Like I feel like I would love to just get lucky and my videos hit, but I feel like I gotta grind to get placement in the algorithm, to be honest with you. I never really have any breakaway videos, despite doing some that certainly would. I see others where they'll hit and we do the same video. Not hating. It's not my fault. It's not their fault. But it's like, damn it, man. I never get that. I never feel like I really get that push. So I work for all my views. But I wouldn't change that, because then I wouldn't change that, because my videos now, they do really good, and it seems like I have people that are interested in my stuff, which is a blessing. And I work my ass off to get the little bit that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the question again? Did I answer it?
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did. Shoot, it was on the tip of my tongue. What was I gonna say? Oh yes, you do. I think you do. Your videos are great. Like, you do a really good job. So don't worry on that end.
No, thank you.
For me, doing like, obviously you got much bigger, but for me, like, if I can't have fun doing what I'm doing, is there a point? Because I think we all, in a way, start this because, for me, I'm sure for you kind of the same way. There's maybe like my brother and maybe one other person close to me that love the same things that I love. And being able to do something, talk about the things you love, and then meeting, people that love the same things and just interacting. I think that's a big part of it for me, as opposed to like views and stuff like
I know
that.
what you mean. Yeah, that's why that's one reason I started a podcast. It's fun to have somebody to just talk to for an hour. I love that. And doing the streams are so fun. Like, doing this is great. We're basically just talking, and it's no work. Like, yeah, I really love. There are problems with it, but I really love YouTube now, because I don't worry. Like, I genuinely, I have enough with my channel. I really do. I'm happy with my channel. I have enough. I'm at a point now where, like, I don't hyper focus on sub counts or anything anymore. I love talking to my friends that I made through YouTube. So yeah, maybe this is the coolest. Maybe we'll look back at this era and say this was the best era of YouTube. Hopefully, But hopefully there will be a better era after this. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm at a really good I'm at a really good place right now with YouTube. My channel is doing good. I love my viewers. I see guys in there now. Like Keith is a good guy. Loki, he's a great guy. Jamie, Brian, Trash, like Ben Grimm. I have great. I feel very lucky, to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of trolls. Like I never was that guy that would upload and get 12 dislikes, maybe 4, But if you don't have some haters, you're not doing, I mean, if you get some haters, you're doing something right, right? But
Exactly.
I was lucky that I never had a bunch of trolls, and my viewers were always really just down-ass motherfuckers, non-judgmental, cool people. Didn't give a shit about if I, liked a piece of shit movie or if I hated a movie everybody loved or whatever. I always had I really lucked out. I had a great audience. I still do. Great audience. So with YouTube, I'm in a great place. I don't think about it as much. I just have fun. I pump out my videos. I do my podcast. So I'm good. I'm actually happy with that.
Yeah. And that's the next thing I kind of want to get into. But before I do that, if you don't mind, I need to grab something to drink.
I do too. I'm going to get another crush.
All right. Well,
you want to do the 30-second countdown thing and we can see if we can make it back in time?
Yeah, let's
do what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Where's it at? I got it somewhere. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I made it back. Jake fails. I hope he watches this back and hears me say this. Jake is a son of a bitch. Piece of shit. Jake is a rat son of a bitch. Motherfucker. I really hope he goes back and listens to this. You're a son of a bitch. You just missed it, dude. It just ended.
Did it? Oh, man.
Just missed it.
Awesome. Oh, back to the chat. And I don't want the chat to think I'm like missing everybody, but I think we've been having a pretty good conversation. So
oh yeah,
I'll get to it. And if this is what I usually do at the end of these things, if you're game for it, people's got any questions for you, I'll let them put it in there at the end. If you feel like answering a few, we can do that.
Okay, I reserve the right to reject any and all questions. So
there you go.
Just kidding.
But I do see. I want to shout out a few Saturn videos in here. He was in here earlier. Rock Music Forever. Lopke Vision.
Yeah.
In here, Justin Smith. Everybody's telling me how I failed at this, so I guess you won.
Oh, I won.
Hell yeah,
yeah, brother.
Mr. Orc, he's probably sleeping, but have you already cracked yours open?
I've already cracked it open, had a few sips.
I'm gonna get a real talk for Orc that I know he's sleeping.
Real talk. Good old raspberry.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
The links I had to go to just to find these. Whew. believe it or not, kind of off subject, but there's you can go to the Twisted Tea website and there's like a find your flavor You just put in your area code and
Oh yeah,
the flavor you want, and it'll tell you the nearest locations that carry it.
we did that for that purple Mountain Dew. We had to go to Shreveport to get it, but we went. I stocked
Hey,
up.
I went.
I'd like
Like,
to buy all your purple Mountain Dew, brother.
but at the YouTube, and one more question, I guess, about the early days of YouTube, just because I'm interested.
Sure.
Like, what was it like starting out? And because I mean, it's not like you were there from the beginning, but you kind of were in a way. You know what I mean? What was it like figuring out like the algorithm at that time?
Impossible.
What was there a thing, or is it the same as what it is now? Like, I don't know what it is.
The idea of putting out a video and it just getting views was like that was it seemed as far-fetched as getting signed to like MCA Records or something, like for a band. Like you would just put out videos and if you got 4 views, it was like, holy shit, somebody watched my video. And I don't recall if back then you watching your own videos registered as a view. I want to say it didn't. So if you went up a view, that means somebody else watched your stuff. And it was just a crapshoot. I would go on, like, I would watch videos on YouTube of like how to get views on your YouTube videos, and then I started learning about like having keywords in your bio, or there used to be a thing where it was like tag words, almost like hashtags before hashtags for YouTube, and you would put a bunch of stuff in there, and they really didn't work. You know, I think the way to win at YouTube is to start out strong and keep putting out videos that keep getting the clicks. That way you're constantly being pushed on home screens. If you can get on the home screen when you pull up YouTube, you're money. You know, being in the subscription feed is one thing, but when you're on the home screen, like I don't know if you've ever watched like my videos, like a couple of my videos in a day, and then maybe the next day you pull up YouTube on your phone, and when you pull it up on the home screen, you'll see my video. That means YouTube is telling you were watching CHH videos, here's more. And if you can be somebody that puts up videos that does that for a lot of people, that's how you grow, I think. So it's really just putting out videos that people are going to click on and constantly doing that, which is a problem because a lot of us have things that we love that not everybody else does. And we say, F it, I want to do this and talk about this, even though nobody's going to give a shit. Well, that's almost suicidal nowadays with YouTube, because it's basically because the second everybody passes on it, YouTube's going to say, okay, guess you're done with this guy. We'll bury it in the subscription feed that you have to scroll down a bunch to finally get to his newest upload that he did that day. But it's tricky. It's a science now. But back then it was just, I don't know how the hell it worked. I think you just had to get lucky.
Yeah, that's the like I've been doing this for about 2 years and on and off pretty much, you know. But the one thing that I have learned through all this, that franchises rankings, they do better. I could like, I forget what video I did, but it was probably one of my most like, I took my time, edited it, made sure it was a flawless video. Didn't do shit. I put out a half-ass Nightmare on Elm Street ranking, and that thing is still like in my analytics. It's still one of my highest viewed and still getting views. It's just weird what people want to watch, I guess. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's usually how it works. Sometimes the least effort you put in, that's the videos that catch.
Yeah.
You know?
So
it's a crapshoot sometimes. So basically, moral of the story is just don't give a shit. I mean, seriously.
No, I mean that is true. And I think even like Dead Pit was kind of talking about this on one of their shows. It's like, for me, I don't want to go on YouTube and watch a video that feels like a TV show. You know, that's got a great production. TV. Yeah, I go just watch TV. But there's some of them channels that are like great production, which is fine, but it's not something that I want to watch. Because
No.
there's something different about TV, and then coming onto YouTube, and these people you're watching, they're real people, they're passionate people. There's something about being authentic.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, and I've kind of like backed myself. I really like having pretty good audio. Like I'm a microphone junkie. I love that. But I've kind of stop myself from getting too focused on video. Sometimes I like to be in focus. I like to have a good crisp image, but I
Mhm.
never like there's YouTubers, some of the bigger YouTubers, no hate, but man, they're doing their thing where they're sitting down and then their backdrop is just immaculate and it's everything is perfectly symmetrical and they've got the shelves with stuff and this and it looks like a studio and they're using like a $4,000 Canon camera and it's like holy shit. But we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about Sean Cunningham's cameo saying that he's making another Jason film, you know. Um, but YouTube is a visual platform, and I get that. And I think as much as I, as much to my chagrin, I do think picture and audio are probably important for a lot of people, especially with first impressions. And no, I'm not talking about dead meat. I actually don't hate dead meat.
I've seen that.
I would love to do what he's doing. You
Oh
know,
yeah, who
I would,
wouldn't, right?
yeah. I mean, I would be doing the Puppet Masters, which he hasn't done. I would want to do Blood Diner. I would want to do Serbian film. Like, are you kidding me? The first thing I'm doing if I'm doing a kill count is Serbian film. The first thing I'm doing is Serbian film. You know, um, but if the shoe fits. But what I'm getting at is I actually think people like that. The majority of people like that. I think we're outliers if picture audio is pretty important to me. Video, not so much.
Mhm.
As long as I can understand and you have pretty good audio, I'm cool. But shitty audio makes me click off relatively fast.
Yeah.
But I think first impressions matter big time. And having good video and audio is not a bad thing to gain your
Oh,
viewers.
oh yeah, I agree. But I think, I mean, like presentation and shit, but like the stuff that I like, which puts you over here a little bit, which I try to do it in one of my videos and it just didn't work as well. But like it was the videos you were doing about Return of the Living Dead, the Necropolis and Rave to
Rave
the
to the
Grave.
grave.
Like where you're and you do it for a lot of your videos, but where you narrate kind of over pictures and then you'll start your video. Like I try to do that at Freddy's Dead. It just doesn't work with my hillbilly accent, but I think you do a really great job at that.
I really quick, I will say those were two of my all-time favorite. Those are actually my two favorite videos I've ever done. The beauty is this all spawned from Children of the Living Dead. I did that video because I was like, you know what? I really want to. The funny thing, Jake, was this. I was like, okay, what do I have to? I want to make sure I'm staying in people's algorithms well and doing stuff to keep my channel flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a day where I reviewed Friday the 13th, the remake. 13 years later, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let me do this. That would be fun. That video actually did really good for me. It did like 2K or something. And I was like, wow, that did
That
good.
and not to cut you off real quick, but I think that now that you bring it up, that was maybe the first video that where you was kind of doing the voiceover at the beginning, kind of
Right.
giving the history. But yeah.
And that video did well. I think the format worked pretty well, which I'm gonna do more of those. I do a little. I don't want to burn myself out because it does take a little bit of work. Do something else, but I do want to do Night of the Living Dead 2006. But I got to research that. But I did Friday the 13th, and I liked that format, and it did well. And I was surprised. I was like, you just never know, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm doing Children of the Living Dead. That video took off. I don't know what happened, but people really liked that video. And then I was like, I've got to do Rave to the Grave and Necropolis. And that Return of the Living Dead book is fascinating because I was shocked when I read that William Butler, who was the boyfriend whose birthday party was supposed to be in The New Blood. He wrote the movie for Necropolis, and initially it was going to be like this big movie, like this really big movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ended up not happening. And then it turned into a micro budget film that got split into 2 movies. And it was a shit show, train wreck, dropped by this company, picked up by this company, dropped by this company, picked up by this mom and pop production front that has an office building next to Ace Hardware down the road, you know. So, and it was a shit show. And I was like, I want to do a video. I said, wouldn't it be cool instead of just saying Rave to the Grave, wow, this is a cheap piece of shit? Wouldn't it be cool if I told you what happened? Like, I would want to know. Like, why is this movie a piece of shit? Like, nothing is a piece of shit on purpose. Well, some stuff is.
Yeah.
But nothing is just it's a piece of shit on purpose. What the fuck happened? It's like, it's not like they hire genuine idiots to make these films. These are probably competent human beings. What happened? And so those videos did good, and those are 2 of my favorite videos I ever did. What I really loved about Rave to the Grave was I actually had fun watching that movie again, because it's sleazy as fuck, and they knew this is going to be cheap. This is not going to be XYZ. Let's just make it sleazy and fun and that kind of thing. And I actually enjoyed Rave to the Grave. It's not a great movie, but it's really sleazy and fun. So it ended on a cool note when I was like, guys, I kind of like this one. So.
Yeah, and I think that's like, you bring that, like, that's a thing that I think, not probably a lot of us and a lot of your viewers or whatever, a lot that's in our group, but like the majority, like, we need to get over this thing. Like, why can't we love shitty fucking movies? If you have a great time with a piece of shit,
own it too. I love owning it, dude. You know how I literally, people message me to tell me how much I'm a fucking idiot for liking Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Really?
On a weekly basis.
That's crazy to me, because
on a weekly basis. And I love it. I love it. I think it's hysterical when people want to tell me I'm a moron. I own it.
Exactly.
I'll accept that as my piece of shit movie. I will totally accept that. Even though I don't think it's a piece.
No.
I have no problem accepting it. I love that movie. I'm a piece of shit.
Like, yeah, it's insane. Like, I can only imagine what you have to deal with, you know, as many subs in the following you have, as far as like voicing your opinion, you know, kind of like championing something that
Right.
you know is not going to be loved, and like having to hear the feedback to that. So that does, I mean, that takes like some balls, really, in a way, like, as far as like, because you know, like, when you say, all right, I fucking love Halloween 2, you got to know you're like, you know, Instagram, Twitter, whatever DMs are going to be like.
The best way to deal with it. I tell everybody that starts dealing with this, I tell them all the same thing. Do not fight back. Do not argue, because you're lessening your opinion when you have to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why defend yourself?
Exactly.
Why? And don't argue, and don't get snippy back. If somebody calls you a dumb fuck because you like something, I always tell them, do not screenshot it, post it on Twitter to get your friends to be like, oh, don't worry about it. No. Don't do that shit. That's unbecoming. Own it, drop them a heart, and move on.
Because, dude, I don't care what anybody says. Movies are subjective, okay? What works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. But
Right.
There's something out there for everybody, and even the shittiest of shit, somebody's going to love it for some fucking reason. And I think we just need to, like, okay, yeah, I might not agree with you, but dude, I'm glad you fucking find enjoyment out of this. And I gotta say, like, for Halloween 2, like you brought that up, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I seen that movie opening night, man. Fucking hated it. Didn't watch it again. Then you and Nick did the Unita show with drum drums.
Yeah.
You know,
and we were creaming our jeans over it.
Y'all, yes, I think I even told you this, but y'all were fucking
like
putting this over, and I'm like, what the fuck did I miss? and I go back and I watch it, how many ever years later that was. And I'm like,
Should have been
dude,
probably, it was a year ago,
yeah, and
right?
yeah. When did that come out? 20.
It had to have been 2021.
No, yeah, I know that did. But when did
2009.
2009? Okay, so I hadn't seen it since then. So that was like X amount of years, and I go back and I watch it, dude, and I'm like, holy fuck, I fucking love this movie. Like, okay. So I appreciate that from you guys.
But I want to say this, on the other side of that coin, I also think people need to like lighten up a little bit, because a lot of times people are kind of fucking around and joking with you. Not you, I mean you as in general.
Yeah.
And I think some people get butthurt way too easily. Like, I've had some of my friends see some of the comments I'll get, and they're fucking mean. And I just, it's like, but and other times you don't understand inflection through text on a screen.
Yeah.
Something could read harsh, but really
It doesn't mean
they're, so it's always, that's why I always say never get worked up about that kind of shit. It's surprising to me that there's a lot of people out there that have no problem posting their opinion on the internet, but they get really upset when they get negative feedback or whatever. It's like, dude, they watched your video. What more do you fucking want?
exactly.
You got the view. That's all you need, brother. They don't need to agree with you. They just gotta click on it.
Yep. And hey, man, them dislikes count just as much as them likes. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah. You goddamn right.
I seen kind of get to the chat for a second. I seen this comment here. Brandon, I'm gonna butcher your last name, so I'm not even gonna try it, but he said for a long time Dead Meat was his favorite YouTuber until he found Mr. CHH.
See, that's the kind of sarcasm I like. But no, if that's I do appreciate that very much.
No,
maybe he's serious.
It probably is, I imagine. Hey Jay, got it right here. It doesn't work for me, brother. And then there was, and this is the one I seen that I wanted to hit on, because I know you and Nick have talked about this, and I know from just watching videos and seeing comments. Is that not the truth?
I have my famous story. My famous story. This is how insane the Halloween fan base can be. Not all of them. Some of them are lovely human beings that literally just enjoy watching the movies and they don't talk to anybody. Those are my favorite kinds of Halloween fanatics. I bought a mug. At Spirit Halloween. So far I haven't done anything wrong to anybody, right? That's all I did was I bought a mug. That, as far as I know, that's legal in the United States of America.
Yeah.
I come home, I bring the mug to my house. The problem is the words Halloween Resurrection are on the mug. Okay? It's a cute little mug. I liked the mug. I'm going to put tea in the mug. I'm going to put coffee in the mug. I may even make a bundt cake in there. I don't know. I have multiple plans for the mug. I post the mug on the internet. This is where I fucked up. I made an Instagram post about the mug. I said, hey guys, hope you're doing okay. I bought a cute mug at Spirit. I put my phone down. I walk back to the phone. I look at the comments on this fucking picture. And of course, in the comments, it's not people saying, hey brother, nice mug. That works for me.
This doesn't work for me, brother.
There was one comment, I shit you not. It was the Dead Sea Scrolls on how much this movie's a piece of shit and how it doesn't belong in the Halloween franchise. And I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just showing you the mug. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And this guy legitimately, he said, this is basically what he said. He grabbed his keyboard and he went to typing away about how much this movie's a piece of shit. It's just a mug. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And I hearted his comment. And I went about my day. But like, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. You can't even post you bought a fucking mug to drink out of without,
I know, and it's
God forbid the day a Rob Zombie's mug comes out, Halloween
oh
mug comes out.
god,
God forbid. I'm gonna have to put that. I'm gonna have to post that picture on my Patreon. That way, only those people can see it. You know, because I post on the internet, I'm dead. Like I'm gonna have to get 24-hour security.
yeah, no shit.
You know?
It's just it's just wild, man. Like, dude, at the end of the day, it's a fucking movie. Like, how
No,
are we
it's
getting?
not, dude. It's
I
not a
guess.
movie. Apparently not.
I guess not. I mean, they're like, I don't like movies, but I'm never gonna get that passionate over hating something. Like, I'm like maybe younger. I don't know if like you can relate to this. Being younger, yes. Like if like I'm like fuck Rob Zombie's Halloween, it's a piece of fucking shit. All this, but like as I get older, I'm just like I don't have time. Like I would rather talk about stuff I love or harp on stuff I love, and
See,
instead of shitting on somebody for loving something,
well,
like
guess what? When you just talk about what you love, I feel you. Then guess what happens?
you get shit on.
CHH loves everything.
Exactly.
And then, okay, I don't love everything. Let's watch Seed of Chucky on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody commented on that. Dude, you know, Christian, I really did love your channel. You know, you were always positive and talking about stuff you love, but like you've really become like a pain in the ass now, listening to you bitch and moan. Like you've really become what you've hated. I'm like, dude, I can't win.
No.
Again, I gave him the old thumbs up, but it was like, you gotta take all of it, dude. When you
Mm-hmm.
go on the internet and post stuff, you got to deal with it. You know,
Especially like as a big following as you have. I mean, I gotta imagine it's like daily on the like
yeah.
and
But again,
maybe
most people, it's all love. Like
yeah.
the Hobgoblin stuff, they're coming, and I play into it. Like I try to make it fun and be like, I'm sick of the Hobgoblin shit. I'm not serious. I'm having fun, right? I'm on the internet. I'm doing a show. I want to be entertaining. You know, I don't want to be over the top, but like I want to play in. You got to play into some stuff a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just funny. You know, you can't win.
No, you really can't.
You know,
And that's really anything, I guess, in life, but especially with this, it's like, damn, if you do like, what fun is it talking about a movie you don't like? To me, it's like, what fun is it? And talking about a movie I genuinely hate. Like, it does nothing good for nothing, in my opinion.
What's interesting is it seems like that's like with movie reviewers, that's usually the high. Like a lot of those reviews have the highest ratings. Like when people hate a movie, like go on YouTube right now. And I hate to use Halloween as an example. Just go on YouTube and type in Rob Zombie's Halloween review and look for the thumbnails like this.
Oh yeah,
Or like that, like you know, like those will always have good views. And I'm not singling out Pizzow. I don't know if he's reviewed Halloween. You know, that's the Pizzow. Remember this?
Yeah, he probably has.
But yeah. But again, I'm with you. Like, it's boring to just review a movie you don't like. Excuse me. I find it boring. I don't mind listening to somebody that maybe talks about why they dislike a movie, but that's why I did those Return of the Living Deads with that style of like, well, what happened? You know? So I think it's cool to approach stuff from that perspective too.
It is, and to like put the time into championing something that you love to try to get more people to watch instead of hating on whatever it is.
It's funny is sometimes I'll have I'll have people message me, women and men will message me this kind of stuff, and they'll say, "Hey, Christian, fan of the channel. I'm really sorry though. Like, I don't like the Dream Child." I'm like, "Why are you apologizing?"
Right?
Why are you apologizing for that? Do you think I'm going to be mad? And I almost wonder if it's maybe they've said to other people on YouTube, like, "Hey, I don't like this movie," and they're like, "Well, you just don't know what you're talking about." Like maybe they're conditioned for them to, like, for other people to get worked up. I'm like, I don't, you know, look, I know I bought the Baby Freddy. That doesn't mean everybody else loves this movie that much. Like, not everybody's that stupid.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly, dude. Like, and this is kind of in the chat. If maybe the chat can kind of like weigh in on it, but like I would say majority. We kind of already talked about like us, and then like the chat. we're here for a reason because we listen and can share with people who love the same thing. We don't have that anywhere else. And then, like you said, somebody apologizing that they like something, like, and then they come onto YouTube and they like, okay, I love Freddy's fucking Dead. I don't give a fuck what anybody's got to say about Freddy's fucking Dead. Everybody hates it. I don't care. I love Freddy's Dead. But
Somebody's got to own that poster over there.
exactly.
Somebody's got to have it. I'll be that idiot.
But say like a normal person is like, God damn it, dude, I love Freddy's Dead. I'm gonna go on YouTube and see what everybody loves on it, and everybody fucking shitting on it, and then they feel like they gotta apologize for liking it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe do you think that's kind of like where some of that comes from?
Yeah, I think part of it is the divisiveness now of opinions on the internet. Man, it's people fall. It's like, dude, it's personal, you know. And I kind of can understand a little bit. Like, dude, movies are personal. They become part of your DNA. So if Freddy's Revenge or fuck it, if Freddy's Dead is in your DNA, it's a DNA film for you, and people shit on it. It's like, dude, you want to throw hands, you know? But you gotta, you know.
I kind of do when I watch reviews. I'm like, dude, look, I don't know what I'm watching and you're watching because, like, Freddy's Dead, it's not that fucking bad. I don't get what people's problem with it is. I really don't.
Well, this is, you know, what I think, and again, I'm the kind of person, I don't give a fuck to change someone's opinion. Just put mine out there. You know, I put mine out there. I don't try to change anybody's opinion. I don't care to, because that's neither here or there. But it's just sometimes the criticisms for some movies, I don't like the expression, I don't understand the hate. But sometimes I can't grasp where they're coming from on certain things. For Freddy's Dead, for example, it's like this movie is so fucking stupid. It's like they turn, like, Freddy's like funny in this, and it's like it's not even scary, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, no. Like, they purposefully made it a cartoon. Like, whether you like that or not is one thing, but no, that was on purpose. Like you gotta realize, like they went for it. They didn't hold back. They went 100% into a Looney Tunes cartoon. So, you know, you can't fault them for that. If you don't like that direction, totally fine. But no, it's like they did that on purpose. They almost, like, I'll hear people reference it in a way like they accidentally made a cartoon or accidentally made a funny Freddy. Like, no, that was 100% on purpose. You know, I think that gets lost sometimes in translation when people talk about why they dislike it. But again, that's, you know, I never comment. I never comment on YouTube, like, disagreeing with somebody's review.
No.
It's not my style. I just don't care.
No.
You know? But
it isn't. And that's one of the things I do really love about Freddy's Dead. It's like they knew what they wanted to do and they fucking did it 100%.
100%.
And I respect the shit out of that.
100%.
And,
you know,
I gotta say, like, a lot of these people in chat are coming from you, and I love them already because they're showing love for Freddy's Dead. So
they're great. They're great people. And somebody asked earlier, this is my Sharp Hand Joe shirt. Somebody was asking if that's a Freddy shirt or a Fetty shirt. No, it's my Sharp Hand Joe, the new Freddy Krueger.
Hell yeah. And I know kind of got on some other stuff, but I kind of want to move into, like, now on YouTube and, like, fucking you need a horror podcast, man. How that came to be and all that stuff, because I think you and Nick do a great job in what y'all do whenever y'all have a podcast. So I always watch it on YouTube because, you know.
Cool. We are on all the streaming sites. I remember one guy messaged me, or no, he commented on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, can you put the show on iHeartRadio?" I was like, "Okay." Till this day, we're on iHeartRadio, and I'll check the analytics. Somebody's listening on iHeartRadio, which is crazy.
Hey, respect.
So, no, the podcast has been fun. It's been great. We're going a year and change now, so no breaks either. I mean, that's the longest I've ever done something like that on my channel. You know. I usually get burnt out on doing stuff, but that's fun. It's no work. It's just bullshitting.
And isn't it great to have somebody to like bounce off of with like ideas and
Sure. Yeah.
opinions? Because you and Nick like a lot of the same things, but then there's,
We'll come
you
at
know,
stuff, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of times where I have to tell Nick he's wrong.
you know,
No, I'm kidding. No. But no, I've known him for a very long time. Like he was probably the guy I saw on YouTube after Pizow. And so, I've known him since 2012, I guess. And we just would stay in touch. How you doing? How you doing? And then, it's like, hey, I want to do like this podcast thing on my channel. Think he'd be fun to do it with. Come on. And so started out innocently and still going. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you are doing that. I mean, it really is a great time. I usually listen to them every week at work. So
awesome. I appreciate that.
hell yeah, brother.
Mm.
But what's like, what do you envision your channel? Like, are you just gonna keep doing what you're doing, or is there anything you want to do that you haven't got a chance to do yet on your channel?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd be lying if I said I never wanted this to become popular enough to where I could do it
For a living?
legitimately. That'd be awesome. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that'd be so fun, and I would love doing it. I would stream all the time, which I'm doing more of. I just get really stressed out about streaming. I don't feel like I'm that good of a host, and I just get really nervous about it.
You're
I'm like, oh
awesome,
god.
dude. Don't you shouldn't worry about that. You're awesome,
Yeah.
truly.
Well, thank you, but I would love to do that. The candle business has been great. That started. Me and Cindy been talking about doing that for a long time, and we finally just like, let's just do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's actually do it. And so that's going good. But I don't know about something I haven't done before. Interview a couple people, like Scout, Taylor Compton, Danielle Harris. Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
John Carpenter. I would love to talk to John Carpenter and not ask any Halloween questions. Not one. Like, I want to talk to him about getting his like flying. Like, he used to be a jet pilot. He would drive his jet to like the set of Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And like, I want to ask him about working on that movie, and I want to ask him about other stuff like vampires, working with James Woods. Like, I want to ask him about all kinds of shit like that. Like, interviews, sure. But honestly, just keep doing what I'm doing. Like, and just coming up with weird shit to do. Dude. Like reading a Halloween book and being like, you know what, I'm reading this book. I may as well get some video use out of it.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, I haven't watched some videos for a reason, because I'm gonna get them books and I want to read them. And you kind of been in like, you remember my brother, surely, Timmy?
I do. I never got to talk to him before, but I know who he is.
Okay, well, he's a big reader, right? And usually through this Halloween season, he'll recommend some stuff to me and I'll read them, as far as like fiction. But I'd say you and getting the Charles Band biography and all that shit, dude, you kind of inspired me in a way to go back and start reading some of that shit. Like, I'm reading the Charles Band biography right now. So I hope eventually, I know you got the Puppet Master book, correct?
Have you
already read that?
No, I'm finishing Charlie's. Okay. The bad thing is I'm doing like 3 books at once, which is horrible.
Yes, it is.
Like, I'm reading this book right now called Clash of the Titans, The Road to Freddy versus Jason. And I want to do videos on that because it's all these scripts that never got used and things that happened and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to get use out of, if I'm reading those books, why not make videos out of them? But the thing I did with Taking Shape, which the last podcast episode was Halloween 2018, which was awesome, the stuff we did.
Yep.
But the thing about this book was there's so much stuff in here. Those videos I made only scratched the surface with each movie. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all I did was promo this book in every episode. So I don't know the guys who made this book. I would love to interview them, but I'm sure I at least made 3 people buy this book from those videos. which I think is awesome, and they need to because the book is incredible. So,
Oh yeah, and that's one thing. Now that you say that, I'll probably go and watch them since not everything's given away. But
oh,
man,
not even close.
close, great.
It's so much shit, and not stuff you would see on those documentaries on the Blu-rays. I'm talking the real shit. Like, all I'll say is John Carpenter was trying to make Halloween's 4 and stuff. He didn't get it.
Really,
But
damn.
they don't talk about that stuff. Like, he was going to make a Canon Films was going to do a John Carpenter Halloween 4 movie
Oh
that he
shit,
was gonna produce. He wasn't gonna direct it. But like,
directed.
yeah, crazy shit like that.
That's awesome. Well, I hope when you get in that Puppet Master book, you do the same thing for them because I know me and you share the same love for Full Moon. So, man, I love
best.
some fucking Full Moon. That's my childhood, honestly. Like Full Moon's my fucking childhood.
Amen.
But I think that kind of wraps that up. As far as the questions I got, you kind of answered everything that I had.
Yeah.
If you're cool with it, the chat here, dude, we got like 36 people watching, which is huge for me. So,
oh, nice.
Thank you, sir. But
absolutely.
If anybody in the chat's got any questions, if Christian's up for it to answer some questions,
nothing but time. I got nothing to do tonight.
All right. Well, the first one that's we're reading, boom. It ain't no butterflies. Thank you for being here. I don't think I mentioned you yet, but
Marcel, yeah.
CHH, do you have the Never Sleep Again book?
No, I do you know what that is, Jake?
I don't. I just remember the documentary. So
I think the book came out around the same time, and it was this gorgeous, legitimately limited release book. It was about the size of the Chris Lake Memories book. I've seen pictures of it, but no, never.
Is it like ridiculous in price right now?
Probably, I'm sure it is, but no, I don't have that. There is a book that's called the Elm Streets making the Elm Streets, and it's by the guy. I think it's by the guy that did that Puppet Master book, but it's like the making ofs, behind the scenes, the business aspects of it that I want to get, but I'm just waiting for it to drop down on Amazon because $40 is way too steep.
Yeah,
but I'm just waiting for it to get down to like 25, maybe even 30. One of the best books, though, Jake, no bullshit. It's called John Russo's Night of the Living Dead 1990 Making of. And he talks about how that movie got made, like legitimately behind the scenes, the road to that movie getting made. It's really good. It's that kickstarted my love for these horror books.
Well, give me 1 second. Let me get on Amazon and you hit me with that title again. I'll order it. What's it called?
It's called. Hold on, let me grab it just to make sure.
All right.
It's this one, John Russo's Night of the Living Dead 1990 Illustrated History. It's really good. And they got gorgeous pictures in here from the making of.
Oh, it's awesome. Boom. Boom. See it right there. Oh, man.
The prices. Man. No. Yeah, don't pay that. Don't pay that. I paid. When I have stuff I want, I put it in my notes and I check every day. And I got this. It went down to $28.99. I got it. I mean, it's a nice big book, but don't pay $40 for it. And there's also one I want to get. It's called Tom Savini's The Night of Living Dead 1990 version you never saw that I want to see.
I'll go ahead.
I'm going to go put this up.
You're good. I'm going to add that to my cart. Oh, yeah. I seen that version Christian was talking about. I added that one to my cart, too.
I've got a nice little book collection down there under Baby Freddy, though. You can't see it because of my lighting, but under there, it's a nice little stack of books.
All right. Let's see.
They're just nice to read, man. To get you a nice cold pop, put the lamp on next to you, get your little, you need a candle melting, and then, dude, just set the mood, read a little. It's like
Oh,
taking a bath when you're a kid. You know, you don't want to get in, and once you get in, it's like, fuck, I don't want to stop. That's once I open up those books, it's like, god damn, there's like legitimate information in this stuff.
there is, and for me, I don't know like what kind of reader you are, but dude, for me, like I live on the Ohio River, right? Like I open my front porch and the Ohio River is right there. So I get on my front porch, I got a swing out there, dude. I'll grab my book and I'll just sit out there sometimes and I'll just start reading. And it's just like a peaceful place to read.
It's peaceful.
It's just great.
Are you if you're a magazine guy, I just got these too. Rumork, this is beautiful. They have retro VHS horror this month.
Yeah.
And it's a good one.
Like I am a magazine guy to a point. Like I used to be a big magazine guy when we had a Books a Million. I would go in there and get the Whorehound and Rue Morgue every month, whatever. But our Books a Million shut down, so like now it's like an hour for me to go to a Barnes and Noble. So anytime I'm like that way, I'll pick up the latest Whorehound or whatever. I used to be a big magazine guy though. I wish I still had all my Whorehounds. Like I was collecting Whorehound from day one. Ben Graham's got a question. I'll let you answer this while I'll run to Tinkle real quick.
All right.
Boom. What's your favorite Halloween candy? How you feel about candy corn?
You know what I really like, Ben Grimm? I buy them by the bulk as soon as the season starts and they start putting candy out. Are you guys familiar with those caramel apple suckers? It's like they make them in green, red. I get bags of those and I just eat them all day long, which isn't good for me, but that's why I run, you know. I love those. Hate candy corn. I love the aesthetic of candy corn. Like I'll get a small jar and put a little in a jar just to see them, but I don't eat them. Sydney gets those. They look like candy corns, but they're like little pumpkins, and she'll eat those, which I think are gross too. Now the movie candy corn sucks as well, but it's really cool aesthetic. Tony Todd's in it. And they have a cool pumpkin pail that I got from Trick or Treat Studios from that movie, but it's really cheap, the movie. When I was a kid, I was a Tootsie Roll guy. Is he yelling in the background? Do y'all hear that? Okay, he's coming. But yeah, yeah, caramel apple suckers are the best.
Hell yeah, brother. Slash your home video asked you on hey, brother. Like, shout out to Christian and his awesome community for being here. This is the most people I've had watching my videos in the comments, so you're going to have to ask again. Ben Grimm again. It says, have you read Chainsaw Confidential book? Gunnar Hansen reads the audio book. He had to play at 2 times speed because he talks slow.
I have it, Ben. And then funny enough, when I showed somebody I had the book, they're like, oh, God, it's out of print. It's expensive now. I haven't read it yet. Like I was saying, I'm reading 3 books. I'm finishing Charlie's autobiography. No, it's his autobiography. He just had a guy help him write it. I just finished Taking Shape, and I'm reading Clash of the Titans, the Road to Freddy vs. Jason.
I'm gonna have to look at that one too. Is this what's called Clash of the Titans?
If memory serves. Okay. And I have Taking Shape too. I'm ready to do that and read about all the shitty Halloween sequels that never got made, which probably some might be better than what we got.
Yeah, I want to read that so bad. Ian Thomas asks, any news on the Uncle Jerry / The Run deluxe box set replacement disc? I'm not sure what that is. Maybe Christian does.
You haven't seen The Run? Dude, that's probably my best movie I ever made. The Run is fantastic.
Is that the one you did with your brother?
My brother plays the druid in
okay.
The Run.
Did you guys do this when you and Nick that podcast episode where y'all were looking at your like early videos? Was this
probably so? I know we did Uncle Jerry. So okay. I did Uncle Jerry 1 in 2012, which was a classic film. But really, I caught my stride with Uncle Jerry too. My wife learned how to do prosthetic makeup effects, which she did. We cut my brother's throat in Uncle Jerry too. I was in tip-top shape. I was at my peak athletic ability, male performance, and I'm serious. Uncle Jerry 2 is my Raging Bull. Like that's really that's a really good, that's a classic CHH movie. But the run was kind of like my rubber soul to Uncle Jerry 2's like White Album or Abbey Road. Like the run was good. The run was a classic movie. So, and that was the end of my movie career.
I'll have to check that out. I do remember this like stop motion Godzilla thing you made.
Oh, that was that was Godzilla Los Muertos. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I I'm a big Godzilla fan. What I'm trying to get out of my mouth right now, though, is like I wanted to do stop motion because I learned how to do it. But if you watch the movie, the longer it goes on, the lesser patience I have, and so I stopped moving him piece by piece, and it's like big step by big step, and then I just start dragging him in one shot because I just got so aggravated with like time because stop motion, dude. Whoever the people behind making Nightmare Before Christmas are, that is the most. Everything you see is a movement, a frame. Like it's insanity.
That's what I want to say. Like you made that, dude. Like kudos to you for one learning how to do that, and for two, like I've kind of looked into like how it's done, and it's insane. Like what it's like, pretty much like snap by snap by snap. Like I don't know, it is insane. Wow.
But the good news is, once my brother's job settles down, he's a dentist now. He's living back here with me. Once his job settles down and he gets a little free time, he's got 3 kids now. But you're actually getting the exclusive on your show tonight.
Oh shit, CHH exclusive.
It's legitimately exclusive. The actor who was my brother's friend in the movie still lives in town. He actually hit me up the other day and he showed interest in doing Uncle Jerry 3. My brother said he's down. Uncle Jerry 3 is in fact happening, and it will debut. My goal is to I'm going to do a live broadcast on my channel where it's going to be a triple feature. It's going to premiere on like a stream premiere on my channel. When the movie's finished, it's going to be a 3-movie premiere. Uncle Jerry 1 is going to play, then Uncle Jerry 2, and then the world premiere of Uncle Jerry 3 Resurrection.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the name. That's the official name. So you just got, this is like, I'm being somewhat jokey, but I'm actually not bullshitting at the same time. Uncle Jerry 3 is in fact happening. So yeah, Uncle Jerry 3 Resurrection will be coming soon to Planet CHH.
Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you giving me the scoop.
I'm in pre-production right now.
Pre-production. Hell yeah, brother. I'll look forward to that.
I'm gonna I'm making the script. I'm working on the script. I'm seeing who's gonna be in the film. I'm working on it. But yeah, Uncle Jerry 3 Resurrection's happening. So there we go.
Corey Ross wants to know if you've listened to the new Megadeth album.
No, the sick, the dead, and the dying. I'm driving to Shreveport tomorrow, and that's gonna be the hour drive. Is the sick, the dead, and the dying. It's gonna have to. I'll tell you this though, Corey. It's gonna have to be damn good to beat Dystopia, because that Dystopia is a motherfucking album. So hopefully, the sick, the dead, and the dying doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, brother. Justin Smith, which I think you already touched on this on that video you did, but I don't think you have one unless you ordered one recently. But do you own a Sharp Hand Joe figure?
I wish. They go for expensive money. Sharp Hand Joe is a hot commodity now, but I've got the shirt.
That's all you need.
I've got the shirt. And then Did you see that video, Jake?
Yeah, I watched the video. Yeah.
How fucking cool is Nightmare Fetty?
Oh, dude, that's just so awesome, dude. That's what sometimes I feel like I'm being my grandfather, because my grandfather was like the old man of old men, when he was alive. Dude, it's like I miss that kind of shit, like knockoff bootleg shit. Like we don't get that anymore.
No.
It's like
No.
it's not like back.
That stuff can't slip through the cracks like it used to be able to.
No, and that shit was like so blatantly obvious of what it was. Nowadays, you'll just have ripoffs of shit. Like it's not the same, man. I miss that era, dude. Like fuck.
Yeah. God damn.
I think I'm just getting to be an old man.
We are. Yeah. We're getting old.
We're getting there. Jack, I see all these people with these last names I can't pronounce because I'm from Kentucky. Blame it on the Kentucky education system, even though I somehow graduated college. CHH, how long did you think about making a channel before you did it? Big Horror Buff here, recommendations.
That's a good question. I was honestly, Jack, the truth is I had a YouTube account because what happened was I was trying to watch a YouTube video where it said you must be 18 or older to watch this video, and it was a nothing video. It's not like it was porn or nothing because it's on YouTube, right? But you know how stuff would get age restricted. So I made an account literally for that reason, just so I could watch whatever this video was. And once I saw Pizzow's video of him showing us Friday the 13th DVDs, I said, I want to do that. And that's really no time at all. Now, how long did it take until I started thinking about how to formulate my channel? Probably about 6 months into doing it. I was like, I should probably organize things a little bit and make my channel somewhat thematic. So if you want to do it, Jack, get in now. Don't wait. Every day you don't do it, Jack, when you finally start, you'll say to yourself, what if I would have started 3 months before when I did? How much further along would I be? Go for it. And feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll help you as best I can. Whatever you need, I can tell you what I did. I can't give you the best advice. I could tell you just what I did, Jack. So feel free to hit me up on social media. Just look up Planet CHH.
Mr. Christian's been doing it for a while, and he knows a lot more than me, but to me, it's just do what you want to do, man. Like, don't worry about the views and the subscribers. Do what you love, you'll be happy, man. It's like what they say about job, man. Do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't love my job, but
hey, I'm right there with you, brother. I don't love my job, so that's why I got to come here and talk about the shit I do love.
Hey. How does that? Is that wax melt smelling good though? You got your
Yeah, I got it. It's good. Look, man, I'm not even joking, dude. That thing's so big, like the wax port, it could hold all these in there.
Yeah.
So I'm burning 3 of them. I got pumpkin spice. 90 came home in there because I shit you not, dude. I bought a like 2 weeks ago. I don't think I told you, but I bought a smaller one, kind of girly one, because that's all they had at the dollar store, and I've been burning that one in my living room. But I've been burning Always Shaker candy. I've been burning that for like 2 weeks, and it smells great. And tonight's the first night I bumped out this.
Good.
So
just a little shameless promotion real quick. Sunday, 6 p.m., Nightmare on Elm Street collection drops, parts 1 through 5. And here's a second exclusive I'm dropping on this show.
Damn.
People have been messaging me saying, Christian, I missed out on the Friday the 13th. Also, where was part 3? Where was part 1? You're getting 2 exclusives here. We will restock eventually, soon, those Friday the 13th. And we're also going to do, on the next Friday the 13th run, parts 1, 2, 3, and the coveted New Blood, because that's one that we didn't do on the first run. So we're going to cover all the movies, and we're going to restock some of those Friday the 13th because people went nuts. They got him, and poor Jake, he was stuck with a Goes to Hell. The
Bro.
best one, Jake. I should be saying all of them are the best ones, but the truth is, the Big Apple is just that I can't keep it in stock. I put it on the website, gone.
Gone. I got one of them. So, dude, no, for real. Like, I remember, like, we were talking about it, and 6 o'clock, man. And I'm like, all right, well, we had our town's little fair or whatever that weekend. And it was literally, I don't know if you were there on the hangouts, but it's literally right in front of my house. So it was like 6:07, I'm not thinking about it. And then I see that message and I'm like, fuck, I better get in there. And I get in there and it's like the only one left was One Goes to Hell. And I was like, 7 minutes and it's practically sold out. Like, that's fucking awesome, dude.
It is. And I'm a pretty good salesman. I'm not selling snake oil. The stuff, I mean, you buy them.
No.
People get them and they're like, this shit smells good. I'm so happy.
Yes.
My wife is she puts in all the work. She's melting the wax. She's doing all the science, pouring everything. I just get on the internet and say, you gotta buy it. But they really are great. And the truth is, I'm so bummed out for Sunday because those Nightmare on Elm Streets, they all smell so good and they look so fucking collectible and cool. Like, I don't want to get rid of them. So it's bittersweet, but they're great. And I'll say, man, you're not going to want to miss the Freddy's Revenge. I mean, it's literally, it smells so good. It's just money. And of course I had to make that the best, absolute best one. So, but anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, like, I know, like, I don't think we've really talked about it, but like, I know I think I bought every time you've had a drop. I don't know what you think I'm buying, just like, I do want to support you and your wife, but dude, they're fucking awesome. And what I'm doing is, obviously, I'm burning them, and I'm slowly starting to realize I don't have enough to make it through this fucking season for Halloween. But dude, I'm giving them to my mom, my brothers, and them to get them smelling them, and they're like, "Hey, this is fucking awesome. Order me some more."
Good. Like, yeah, dude, and they speak for themselves, man. Once you get them, I know Jay said he was like, the creature was awesome. Like, he said I really liked it, and I'm like, it feels good, because it's like, yeah, I love the support from the friends, and you guys showed up, but it's like my wife was like, what are they saying? I'm like, City, they love them. Like, they smell great. So it's been awesome, but she deserves the credit because she's putting all the work in, so.
Shout out to Miss CHH. And I will say my house
smells great.
It does for the past 2 weeks. Once I bought the first girly wax melt burner until I got that fucking awesome one right there.
Yeah, you gotta get another one now. Put it that in there and get rid of the girly one.
No,
I get the skeleton one's great if you can find that one.
If I can find, I'm gonna give it a couple more weeks because, like, literally when I went to Walmart, they were just now getting their Halloween stuff out,
right?
And this was the only one that they had. So I'm gonna wait. If I get the skeleton one, it's going in the living room. The girly one's in the kitchen. But dude, my house has been smelling like fucking pumpkins and candy and pumpkin spice for like 2 weeks.
Puts you in a good mood. Makes your serotonin hit. There you go.
Yeah. Then we got Brand. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. Says, CHH, any poster recommendations with great artwork? I just started putting together my horror room and don't know what movie posters I should display.
Brilliant question. Let's go with 4 posters, Brandon. Let's go with 4 posters. Number 1, moviepostershop.com. $19.99 for 27 by 40s. Get the big ones. It's more real estate in the wall, but they look, I mean, you can't beat a big, gorgeous 27 by 40. Yeah, look at that. Madman. There you go. Gorgeous. Let's say 4 movie posters, Brandon. That would look great. Okay. And the number 1 rule with movie posters, the quality of the film means dick. This is about the posters. Okay. Don't buy movie posters of masterpieces. Who gives a fuck how good the movie is? How cool does the poster look? Number 1, you got to get yourself Mausoleum. It's one of the most gorgeous poster arts I've ever seen. Number 2, why don't you go ahead and grab The Gates of Hell? Lucio Fulci. Gorgeous poster.
And great movie.
Yes. Number 3, grab Return of the Living Dead 1 or 2. Cannot go wrong, and that's my personal favorite movie, so that would make me feel good if you got Return of the Living Dead. And number 4, shake things up, go left when they think you're going to go right, and get yourself get a Chud poster or get Silver Bullet. Get something with a little less art that has like that vibe to it, that dark vibe. So there's 4 great posters for you to hang on your wall.
Oh yeah, brother. And I kind of, well, no, I don't. But at the same time, like I got myself surrounded by stuff I love, but they just happen to be fucking awesome posters at the same
Yeah,
time.
you're burning.
The Burning. Original one sheets too, by the way. And then I got a Halloween 5 over here signed by Danielle Harris. But
here's the best part of my horror room, if I can get my camera to cooperate. If you can see it. No, you're not going to be able to.
no.
But
What
it's
is that?
Hold on, let me adjust my camera settings. That is my Return Living Dead section. You can't see it, but on the wall, I mean, on the door is part 1, and then on the wall is part 2 and 3 right under it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my autographs right there. I just love that. I love that section of the horror room.
Dude, bro.
So when I go to Scarefest, I'm getting but shout out to everybody going to Scarefest. When I go to Scarefest, I'm getting the autograph from the kid from part 2 and the older sister from part 2. I will be the only guy in line there to go meet them, but I will bow at their feet for being in one of my all-time favorite movies, Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Fuck yeah. I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome time.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting drunk. Twisted Teas.
Twisted Teas, brother. Matt asked, did you have dreams about making a channel before you owned a computer?
Did I have dreams about making a channel before I owned a computer? I can't say I did, Matt. I had dreams about other things.
I did too. And this Jamie asked a follow-up question that this was like my dream in high school, that just nothing, ever happened. Do you have any aspirations to be a filmmaker?
Found footage filmmaker, if I'm being serious. Because that'd be the only thing I could attempt. That's it. Great question.
Hold on. Let's see. We got, still talking about fucking candies. I'm like so far behind here.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What knockoff Freddy product do you own, Christian?
Freddy's Nightmares Blu-ray collections that my friend Kyle's made for me. I don't think I own much knockoff stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think everything I got's legitimate.
Like you said, that Sharpan Joe stuff would be cool to own, but it's pretty expensive like now, right? Like, I mean,
Sharpan Joe is expensive. Nightmare Freddy, if you want them in the box, you have to cut a check for Nightmare Freddy.
Oh shit!
But there's a T-shirt company that makes a Nightmare Freddy shirt, so I'm certainly gonna have to grab that soon. That's one of my favorite videos I ever did too. I mean, that was such a fun little,
yeah, it was awesome, dude. And I think that could be a serious series because, like, surely there was like knockoff Jasons, Leatherfaces, Michael Myers, right?
Yes, but there is another Freddy figure I want to do a video on, but it's a legitimate figure. It was like this figure. It's called like FX something, where it's like a person in a box, like a toy guy in a box, but the Freddy costume next to him. And it's like you dressed him up as Freddy, and then it died right then and there. I think it might have been Steak Sauce that said you should look into this. No, it was Toronto Freddy, that guy.
Yeah.
He said look into this thing, and so I'm going to, and I need to make that video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna work on that tomorrow.
Yeah, brother. Slasher Home Video wants to know your thoughts on Little Caesars, also the perfect hamburger.
I remember as a little kid, Little Caesars was freaking awesome. This was like the old Little Caesars, right? The pizza Little Caesars. And then I remember when it came back, they had this renaissance for Little Caesars all of a sudden, and they rebranded their business model and everything. I think anybody that complains about a $5 or $6 large pizza needs to kind of get it in check a little bit.
I agree with you on that one.
I mean, it's like it's really cheap, you know. But I think Little Caesars is fine. If you get that perfect hot and ready, where they just put the right amount of pepperonis and cheese on it, dude, a Little Caesars hot and ready will get you to where you need to go. So I'm down with whenever I have a party at the house or Sydney has friends over and stuff, and we're catering, best believe that F-150 is pulling up in front of the Little Caesars, because that's what they'll be eating.
Ready, brother.
That's what they'll be eating, and they will like it.
Yeah.
And I just, don't you love this? Do they do this at yours? You go up to the counter. What can I help? What can I get for you? I'll take 2 pepperonis. Taking 2 peps. Do they do that at yours where they turn around?
No. Well, look. To be honest, dude, I don't have Little Caesars often because the closest one to me is like an hour. So I don't go. Like, what's close to me is Pizza Hut and Papa John's. So we always go to Papa John's, right? But when we go, well, back when me and the mother and my child were together, her family lives in a town, and they had a Little Caesars. So every time we went up there and stayed, boom, it was fucking hot and ready's every night. We stayed up there.
Oh God.
So.
But yeah, dude, I love honestly, I love Little Caesars.
Yeah. Jamie wants to know what your favorite flavor of ice cream is.
Base flavor, strawberry. But like, I like Blizzards from Dairy Queen.
Hell yeah, brother.
My favorite Blizzard. They bring it in and then they get rid of it. The animal cookie Blizzard.
Oh, dude, yes. I know what you're talking about. They're more delicious. They're great.
We got Pizzal in the chat.
Is Pizzal? I'll have to get.
Pizzal is here.
Is he here? Nick says Uncle Jerry 3 is coming. He's been in the talks with Bloom, man.
We are in talks with Blum, but he's wanting to do a requel and ignore part 2 of Uncle Jerry, and I'm not down with that.
No.
So we are in talks with we're in talks with Full Moon Features.
I don't want to go too far, but is Pizzal really in here?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, I'm so far fucking behind. What's up, Piz? Hello, good sir. I'm really far behind, Christian. Sorry.
No, you're cool.
I don't know where I was though. I don't know. I'm just gonna go where I was. Everybody's talking about like awesome smells that would make. Everybody. Oh, you want a commentary on Uncle Jerry when the trilogy premiere drops?
That's actually a good idea, but I would have to have my brother with me to do the commentary. And my brother's so military and dad now.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be how it would sound. Like, all right, guys, this would be me. All right, guys, here we are. We're doing the Uncle Jerry commentary. This is your director and writer, Christian here, and my brother, Trey. Hi, this is Trey Hanna. So I remember my brother wanted to make him, like, he's so,
dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I remember this scene where Christian basically wanted me to drink beer the entire movie, and that was fine. But the Corona started getting a little warm. Like that's gonna be my brother.
That'd be awesome. Shout out Jay the Stingray. Let's see. Nick says you got a Magic Mike poster. Word?
Not word. Nick's gonna get cut from Uncle Jerry 3 if he keeps. He's gonna get cut if he doesn't stop with that's slander.
Nick says, "Hey, bro, out there, Christian getting drunk at Scare." Does Nick come in Scarefest, dude?
literally everybody is going to be at Scarefest.
Fuck yes, dude. And that makes me feel so good because one, I ain't gotta drive that far. Obviously, that's like the biggest one. But two, dude, that's my convention. Like I've been going since '08.
Well, I'm just
So
I'm gonna laugh when I get there and I go up to Piz. I'm like, dude, Piz, how are you doing? Huh? Excuse me, do I know you? And he just acts like he doesn't know me.
that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Get big league by Pizzo.
He's gonna big league me. I know Piz is gonna big league me. No, what Piz is gonna say, he's like, oh, good, nice to meet you. Let's go buy me a beer. Oh, yes, sir. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, Piz. Yes, sir. And I go get him a beer.
Oh, you're gonna love this question by our good friend Corey at S'mores Indoors. When did you first fall in love with pumping iron, Christian?
You know what? Like honestly, I'm never. Did you vote for Pumping Iron? Were you on
Fuck
that
no,
show?
dude. Fuck that movie.
I'm sorry. We're doing it. We're rating Stallone and Schwarzenegger films, and they put Pumping Iron over like Cobra or something. Like I don't get it. They're nuts. Corey's nuts. They're all nuts.
Yes. Oh, Pisses. Don't get me started on my local Papa John. Is that good or bad? Because my local Papa John's is always like 2 thumbs up.
My grandma calls it Papa John or
Papa
Cajun.
John's.
Papa John's.
God, let's see. Oh yeah. Nick says you need to sense guys are coming. I've been saying it. Christian Scott Sapp, mine's beer and shame. Hey,
Is there a difference? Like
I'm right there, brother.
If we're doing 2005 Scott Stapp, then Beer and Shame is the Scott Stapp sense. So I got to figure out which era Scott Stapp I'm going for. Am I going for sober Scott Stapp or, you know?
Here you go. 2000 Scott
Right.
Sapp. Yeah.
Oh, hey, no bullshit. He has gotten his shit together, Scott Stapp, and his voice is 1000% back. He sounds amazing now. Go look up clips. It's remarkable.
Oh man, I think I'm caught up. Like so
with
far.
arms wide open.
I love Creed, so I'm not even gonna be like that guy. I'm like, dude, I fucking love Creed, okay, and I'm not gonna apologize for it because I'm not that fucking bad.
Yeah,
they're fucking awesome.
My band, we have this debate all the time,
dude, and I don't mean to cut y'all, but like, I'm so glad y'all fucking covered that, dude. Like, fuck yeah.
I can't wait to play it live. Are you kidding me?
Dude, it's gonna be so lit.
You know, because we're a rock and roll band, right? And we want to do cover songs of like, we didn't want to do 90s songs because everybody does 90s songs around here. Like every band covers, I don't know,
like Alice in Chains, Nirvana,
Alice in Chains,
yeah.
Every band around here does that. So I said, why don't we be the early 2000s band that, like, we're a rock band. We write our music. We're a real band. We have albums. We put out music. We do the whole nine. We play our songs live, but we want to have cover songs that are like big songs. So our closer for the longest time was the Killers' Mr. Brightside. Fun song to play. I love the Killers, but we got burnt out. We were doing Mr. Brightside. Then we changed it to, we were doing from the same album. We were doing Somebody Told Me You Had a Boyfriend. Great song.
Yeah.
And we were having fun with that. But again, we were just like, oh, I'm burnt out on the Killers. Let's pick something else. And we couldn't figure out what else to do from the early 2000s. We didn't want to go the pop punk emo way because it's just not our style, even though Caleb, the singer, likes Jimmy Eat World and stuff like that. It just was too, we wanted to do something that kind of seemed like it was sounded like our original stuff a little bit. They kept saying, we got to figure out what we're going to do. And I was just like, we have got to do One Last Breath by Creed. We have got to do it. And they're like, yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Like, what if we did that? You know, how cool would it be if we did that, though? And I was like, well, let's do it. And every time at practice, I would wear them down, and they would get close. They'd play it for a second. And then one day, after like 4 months of us trying to figure out what we're going to replace Mr. Brightside with, I said, we have got to do One Last Breath. I said, dude, you have to realize that the second you start playing that guitar part, everybody is going to walk outside. All the guys at the bar are going to turn around. They'll put money in the tip jar, the whole thing. We finally did it, and Caleb was like, why the fuck have we not been playing this for months? So Now it's so fun to play. And then we ended up, Caleb said, fuck it, let's learn that Blurry song by Puddle of Mud. So
Oh,
now we're
fuck
doing that
yeah.
too. It's funny. Yeah. I got to tell Jay the dates of our shows. We have 3 shows coming up, and I know Jay had tried to come before, and it didn't work out for one reason or another, but it'd be great if one of y'all could come see the band. But
Be awesome.
yeah. But I can't wait to play One Last Breath live. It's going to be a dream
Oh,
come true.
it's gonna be lit. You're gonna have to like make sure
I'll
somebody's
film it.
recording that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love seeing that. Dude, man, you gave me like almost 2.5 hours of your time.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look like
Whatever
chat.
I'm on your time. Don't worry about me.
Oh,
I'm on your time.
nah, man, it looks like chat's kind of down here with questions or whatever. And I know it's getting late and shit, but man, I want to thank you really for coming on here with me, man, dude. Nick, hold on. Piz wants no Limp Biscuit covers. He's disappointed.
The funny thing is, whenever we get into practice, the Caleb he loves Limp Bizkit.
Break stuff, man. Y'all gotta do break stuff.
He's upset. He loves Limp Bizkit, and he always turns on the mic when we get into the jam room. And you remember when Limp Bizkit came back in 2011 with that Gold Cobra album? It's a shotgun. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Caleb turns the mic on the PA, and every single week we get to practice, that's the first thing out of his mouth. And we'll kind of fuck around and play that song for a second, you know.
Y'all need to do it for real.
But we were all talking about that Netflix documentary on Woodstock '99.
I haven't got to watch that yet, but I heard it's really good.
The clip of Fred Durst saying the breakdown for the I feel like shit. My suggest that part, just seeing Fred Durst say, "I want you all to take that rage inside and release it." And so at Woodstock, do you know, like, I don't know how much you are into live music and bands and stuff like that, but at festivals, there's this tower in the middle of the crowd. That's the sound man that's running the PA system that levels during break stuff. Give me some, like, no, the part where he's like, break your fucking face tonight. Give me something to break. And the crowd literally is erupting. There are people climbing the rafter to get to the sound man, and they eventually take the whole thing down.
Damn.
It's fucking crazy. It's literally the most, it gives you anxiety watching the crowd at Woodstock 99.
Mm-hmm.
Truly gives you anxiety. But Limp Bizkit was the greatest band that night. Korn was great. I love Korn. If you ask me to go watch Korn or Limp Bizkit live every day of the week, twice on Sunday, I'm going to see the Bizkit. I'm going to see the Bizkit.
I'm right there with you, man.
You know. God, 1999 really was a fucking amazing year.
It was.
Like, when you see Kid Rock come out on stage looking like a fucking just a jobless drunk SOB with this white fur coat on, dude, my name is Kid.
Do you not remember like that time when that song, like all the crazy hillbilly white people around here, they were all for that ball, chicka wall, bang, yeah.
Dude, he grasped, like, there was this magic little period in rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had the 90s, the grunge era. Then from 98 to about 2002 was like this weird, awesome era where you had your like rap new metal stuff where it was super, super popular. But then you had the pre-emo band, Lit. They were the punk band that had like that American Pie vibe. It was like pre-emo. Lit was fucking awesome. I love Lit. Remember My Own Worst Enemy, that whole stuff?
Yeah.
They were so good. I love Lit. That's one of my favorite bands from that era. They were the heartbeat before emo.
Yeah.
So that's a really wonderful time in music. It really is.
Oh, yeah. Love that. MTV and all that stuff, man. It's great. Nick says you never come on his channel, man. He's sad.
Every time he asks me, I'm working.
Christian Big League and Nick here. But yeah, man, it looks like it, dude. About 2.5 hours. I really do appreciate you coming on here. Means a lot to me. So thank you,
Absolutely.
good sir. And I want to say you've already kind of said it tonight, but dude, go ahead and plug your Unita and whatever you got coming up next on your channel there, man. Like your drop for the Nightmare on Elm Street candle or wax melt. Sorry.
Yeah, so Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time, we're dropping the Nightmare on Elm Street line. It's awesome. Part 1 smells like coffee. Part 2 smells like fruity cereal. Part 3, Dream Warriors, is lavender. Part 4 is popcorn. We finally decided to jump on it and do like a fun smell. So part 4 smells like buttery popcorn, and part 5, Baby Freddy, has like that kind of musky fragrance scent. And they're cool. They're so cool looking. Like you won't want to throw them away even when they're done. They just look really cool. So that's Sunday. I want to say the next You Need a Horror podcast is Cannibal Holocaust. Nick's gonna watch that.
What Nick has? Oh man, I can't
He's
wait.
gonna. I told him I want him to
Can't
see.
wait,
I want him
man.
to see the movie, not edited. I want him to experience Cannibal Holocaust the way it was made. So I think we're gonna do that. As far as videos go, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing with videos next because I've finished Taking Shape, which has been carrying my channel for the last month. But
Maybe more live streams in the future. Maybe.
I'm trying. Like we're doing more Unitas live.
Mhm.
We did the call-in thing, which that was so fun taking calls. I got to figure out I might have to do a different program with Nick next time we do the show so the people can hear him as well as me.
Me.
I know it's possible, but it may not be possible through StreamYard. So I'll figure that out, but
dude, and I wanted to like commend you on that. That was fucking dude, like nobody has done that to me in my world since like Dead Pit used to do call-ins on their show they had.
yeah.
Like so to see like call-ins come back, dude, that was fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how you figured it out, but that's fucking awesome, dude.
I got to figure it out better, but it was like
It is good.
I was shocked nobody called up and said N-word, 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 or like
good thing they didn't.
Well, I was thinking the more I thought about it, would it suck? Yeah, but would the audience or like my followers be mad at me for that? Like, no, it's not my
It's not your fault.
I didn't tell the guy to call and say that. So if it happens, it would suck and I would have to hang up. But it's like you can't be mad at me about it. So I was like, because I almost decided not to do it, but I was like, no, do it. Don't be afraid. Do it.
Because you gotta expect that. Like, there's gonna be that one asshole that's like to call in and do it.
There was one guy I did hang up on because
I seen that, dude.
He sounded like he was.
He was like,
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, man. And once again, dude, appreciate you coming on. Really. And everybody, Sunday, go buy you need a wax melts. They smell fucking amazing. I'm burning some of these pumpkin spice tonight. He came home right now. And in my kitchen, I'm burning always check your candy because
hell yeah.
Because it's great shit. Hold on, Anthony's Horror More. He wants to know if I share the love of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as much as Christian. I guess you just came in here, Anthony, but we kind of talked about this. But Christian, Nick, and Drum Dums made me revisit Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I fucking love it now. Love it. Every year, watch for me.
This is old Loomis.
Hell yeah. And I know we're wrapping up, but I don't want to go too long. But dude, like, to me, in a real world, like Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is so fucking real world situation. If that happened to a doctor, it's exactly what he'd fucking do, dude. He'd try to make as much money as he could and exploit the fucking situation. You're going to be dealing with Lori and all this fucking trauma. Like, I don't know. It's so real. And yeah, I don't know.
And he based that character off of the Charles Manson lawyer.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I read again, I don't want to spoil Taking Shape too much for you, but Rob Zombie based that Loomis off of the Charles Manson lawyer, which is really cool.
And then Matt says, "Do y'all got a call-in line on Unita?" Well, the last Unita that Mr. CHH and Nick did, he had the first ever call-in line. So
I had a call-in line where people called into the show. It was really cool.
Oh, it was. And I guess that is kind of like a question going off this. Like, is that something more to expect from you in the future? From just like live chats or Unita, whatever.
I think tomorrow night I'm gonna do some call-ins just to do it, work out the bugs. That way when I want to work out some stuff, experiment a little bit. That way when we do the next Unita live, I'll have it figured out. Because it was a little rocky on my end having to hang up on calls while we're on the phone and ending them fast because we hear the call-ins. I got to figure out some experiment. So I was telling Sydney, I was like, hey, I'm probably going to go live tomorrow night and maybe do some call-in stuff to work out the bugs on that and figure that kind of stuff out. It'd be funny if you called, like call in.
I'm going to call in tomorrow.
Call in. I want one of my friends that I know to call in just to like see how different it is, like hearing you on the phone.
I'm going to call in tomorrow, brother. If we go live tomorrow, I'll go in, brother, if I get through. Hey, night, Piz, dude. Thanks for stopping by, man.
All right, Piz out. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, brother. Anthony's he's gonna catch the replay of the stream, dude. Appreciate it, brother. Really do, man. Yeah, but man, dude. Once again, I've tried to wrap this up for a minute, and then chat's going wild. And that's all thanks to you, really. Like, some of these people, are our people, and then some of these are coming from you. So appreciate you promoting this on your Instagram and all that stuff, man.
Oh, 100%. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, man. Thanks for joining. And as far as me, I really don't have nothing coming up in the future other than I'm just waiting on people to get back to me, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Christian, you got any last words here, man? Or are you good?
Last words. I'm gonna say this declaration. I've revisited My Bloody Valentine, the original, and the remake multiple times over this year. I fucking love the remake so much. I like it more than the original. I like the remake more.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you.
It's Jensen Ackles. I fucking love that dude. That's the perfect way to end it.
It is. Hey, My Bloody Valentine remake better than the original.
Hell yeah, brother. That works for me, brother.
Hey. Oh yeah, no, this doesn't work.
We got to make that works for me.
We got to make that one. But once again, dude, thanks for everybody in the chat. This is the biggest. We was peaking at like 38, 40 viewers, man. So shout out to everybody in the chat, dude. Thank you guys. Peace out. Good night, brothers.